So I have a subject to actually talk about. I have a few minutes, got my thoughts in order, so let's see how this goes. I want to give you a postpartum update. So post-pregnancy update. It's only been like 12 weeks or something like that. For starters, I had the emergency C-section and my incision healed up pretty good. It's still pretty purple. I don't know if I'm sure that'll fade to some degree over time, and it's not very big. So it's kind of funny. I'm not super upset about having a C-section, but as far as good, it's actually still a little sore underneath of the scar. I think I had some granulation tissue. I can assume that's going to fade over time because it's bit by bit fading, but tight pants definitely irritate it. Fussy baby kicking irritates it. It is what it is, but the C-section seems to have gone okay. I'm starting to work on building my stomach muscles up again. I don't have a whole lot of strength there, so it's going to take time. I'll say that going from being pregnant and having a baby 7 weeks early, it was a very big, abrupt change. I wasn't prepared to not be pregnant, so it took a while before I was kind of accepting of the fact that I wasn't pregnant anymore. It's kind of an odd thing to happen, but that's what happened. So one of the big concerns for me, my therapist, my husband, me, was postpartum depression. Because I have a long history of major depression and borderline bipolar issues, I was extremely concerned as to how the hormones would go. I've definitely had the typical ups and downs with hormones. I don't think I've had anything unexpected or extreme. I've been really trying to watch things. I will say the last couple of weeks, I'm finding myself losing patience and getting frustrated really easy. Not necessarily with Adeline, but with random things. Like yesterday I was having trouble with the baby carrier, like the Moby wrap, and I was building up a major level of frustration that wasn't equal to what was going on. So that, you know, it's hard to decipher if that is a depression issue kind of creeping up, or if this is a factor of my lack of sleep, because seriously, I'm living on about 4 hours average sleep a night, which is definitely not enough. And I'm not getting any naps during the day. It's just impossible. I'm trying. So the patient's frustration thing, I'm a little worried about it, but I'm watching it. I mean, some is to be expected, I know that, but it's funny because with my depression, my temper is usually a good factor as to how my depression is doing. When I start feeling like I'm losing control of that, then I know things are brewing. I do see my therapist next week. We're going to double check things, but I don't think I'm having any major problems right now. I need to keep an eye on it. I'm so glad things are warming up and I can get outside and do more walking and get in the sun, because that always helps me no matter what. So I think I'm doing good. One thing about having a preemie that I've read about, but I didn't really guess I understood until we get to experience, is that you end up in the infant newborn phase for a lot longer than the average baby. Adeline will be 3 months old in a week, and she's still, she's about 3.5, 4 weeks from her due date. So she's about the equivalent of a 3 to 4 week old baby. So I've had basically a very young infant for 3 months, and she's just now doing stuff that 3 to 4 week babies would do, and she's almost 3 months old. We're just now starting to get the smiles, and she's starting to make more noises. She's not cooing or anything, but she's starting to do things in her awake times rather than just eat, sleep, fuss. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool that we're turning that corner, but it's been 3 months of newborn, which is kind of why I'm exhausted. Not only do we have the reflux issue, but she's basically like a new baby for a long period of time. And I will say that the sleep factor is probably putting a little bit of stress on the husband relationship. I'm a little probably short with him and not very patient, and I think he's losing some sleep, plus he's got the stress of work. So we're having to take breathers now and again because, you know, it gets a little bumpy. Nothing bad, just bumpy. I'm enjoying being a mom. It's definitely a very big transition, but I love Adeline to death, and you know, this is the next phase in our lives, and I'm happy to be here. I'm trying to remind myself to enjoy the journey. So even if she requires being held all day long, I'm trying to just say, you know what, in 6 months, she's not going to want to be held all day long. So I'm going to take it and enjoy it and let her nap on me when she can, and just, you know, enjoy that part of this, even if it means that I don't get to get anything done otherwise, like edit videos. I figure by the end of April, cold and flu season will be wrapping up. I've talked to the pediatrician, and we should be pretty much free to go by the end of April. I'm still taking her out now and again, but I'm being extremely cautious. So we're doing our first family function this weekend for Easter. I can't stop yawning. Remember that sleep deprivation thing? We are off on a super fast trip to Costco because we need cat litter. Priorities. My list of medical problems, like my fibromyalgia, which is mostly like the back and shoulder pain and the muscle pain, my interstitial cystitis, my chronic fatigue, and what else? Oh, my skin rashes. I think I have chronic skin rashes and my food intolerances. So during my pregnancy, my muscle issues actually got a little better. I think the hormones that help relax your muscles so your uterus can expand actually help my my back pain and stuff like that. So post being pregnant, my back pain has slowly creeped back up. Now it doesn't help that my baby needs to be held all day long, so my shoulders are a little out of whack, but I definitely am feeling some creeping back in of the pain that I'm used to. So I just need to get back on my walking and activity regime, because that usually takes care of the minor stuff. Interstitial cystitis. I had a lot of problems when I was pregnant with my bladder. That was probably the worst part of my pregnancy. And essentially, instantly, as soon as she was born, I stopped having problems. Getting rid of that pressure on my bladder and that constant irritation made a huge difference. So my stomach food intolerances, I've really been hammering the probiotics because I've had these yeast problems for nursing. So that combined with, you know, I was really doing well during the pregnancy with my stomach issues, and they've continued. So I've done pretty good. I have a lot more flexibility of what I can eat, or at least the amount. So like, for example, with my fructose intolerance, I really haven't been able to tolerate in the past any fruit whatsoever. And things like avocado gave me problems. And lately I've tried a little bit of avocado and have been okay as long as it's just a small amount. So there's been a slight improvement actually in my fructose intolerance. Again, that might be due to the fact that I'm eating a ton of probiotics right now. So I did cut out dairy for nursing, and I've cut it out before, but it's been a long time since I've done like a full 100% dairy elimination. I mean, not even butter. Personally, I don't really see much of a difference in myself. Now, if I add it back in, I might notice it. So we'll see what happens. Skin-wise, my skin rashes, I have chronic skin rashes that'll flare in places. I'm having a little bit of issues. Nursing is taking it out of me. No matter how much I drink, my skin is so dry. And that's just exacerbating the problem. So I'm getting a little bit of flare up on my rashes, but it's not too terrible. As the weather warms up, I bet you it'll get better. Nursing is still not going great. She really is having a hard time with her reflux and nursing and some pain aversion. So I'm still pumping for her for 98% of her food. Okay, I ran out of space on my card. So real quick, nursing, not so good. Still pumping, which is taking a ton of time, but I'll do whatever it takes so that my baby can be on breast milk for at least a year. Just finished up at Costco. Probably one of the great parts of being not pregnant anymore and healed from my C-section. I just lifted a ton